Hello, family and friends. I welcome you once again today for yet another inspiring video. So, today is another amazing day. So, today we shall be discussing about social circles. Social circles. So, I'm sure the very question that strikes you in your mind right now is okay, so what are social circles? What about social circles? So, a social circle is simply a group of socially interconnected people. A group of socially interconnected people. So, now throughout our video today, we shall learn and see what is found in our social circle, and above all, how our social circle helps us to become better people. So, out there are so many social circles that you're going to find written and drawn by various people, and I'm very much sure everyone drew their social circle according to how they felt the social circle is or is comprised of. But then today we shall have another unique approach. So the first thing we find in our social circle is you, or let me say it's me. So it's me at the center of this social circle. Okay, at this social circle. Now, is this social circle just about you? Of course, there are other things that will come in that will keep up this social circle of yours to grow. So let us check and see some of those things that are outside our social circle and within our social circles. So we have this circle outside us. So we see that is you right there, and outside our circle we find a lot of things. So it's outside this circle that we find our family. Okay, we find our friends. Okay, we find strangers. We find our careers. Okay, we also find our relationships, relationship lives, relationships, and it's within this circle that we find opportunities, pardon my spellings. So there was supposed to be an N right there. Opportunities, right. Then what else do we find in our social circle besides what we have just mentioned right now? We also find motivation within our social circle. Motivation within our social circle. So now, talking of the family. The family is one aspect of our lives that we are born with. Everyone who is on this earth has a family somewhere, right? And we find our brothers and our sisters, people who are just right there for us and proud of us, and we are happy to be in their presence. We also find friends. I believe each and every one of us have always had friends from childhood, adulthood, even in our old age. We are still going to have friends. Strangers. What strangers do we meet along our social life? There are a lot of strangers, and I believe the various strangers we meet along the way come for different purposes. Some will come to build our lives, and some will come to discourage us. But it's up to us to have that wise perception as to what purpose the strangers we meet along our way hold. Opportunities. So it's within this circle that we are going to find different opportunities of life, opportunities to grow and become better people, opportunities of jobs, opportunities in all aspects of life. Okay, relationships. So by relationships I mean dating, courtship, and marriage, or relationship life. See, there are times when relationship issues get to affect us so much: dating issues, courtship, and above all, marriage. But in what position are we placed? How do we perceive our relationship life? Do we feel it's something that will work out swiftly? Do we feel it's something that we'll have to take time with and just really understand more about what relationships are or what it takes? So that is found in your social circle. One thing that excites me so much is that there is another circle that seems to umbrella all this that we have discussed right now. So it's you at the center there, with your friends, with your strangers, with your family, with your careers, your relationship life, opportunities, and motivation. We also find leisure time within this circle. Leisure time. So now, leisure time is simply our free time, the time we really get to spend when we're not at school, we're not at our work. There's that time we get to have. So how do we spend that time? Do we use it to socially interconnect with other people? Do we use it to build ourselves, to learn more about ourselves and just to the betterment of ourselves? So that's a personal question every individual ought to answer. So now, there is this bigger circle that umbrellas everything we have discussed right there. It umbrellas everything we have discussed. So we find God, God, at the center of our social circle, or umbrellaing all what is in our social circle. But why God? One thing I realize is that God is the giver of life. He is the giver of life. And at the same time, death also comes along the way. Death also comes along the way. And for sure, death is inevitable. But then, what's the interlinkage? What is connecting this whole circle? What is making this whole circle to be complete? Is it just a matter of life and death? So let me take you to the book of Jeremiah 29 verse 11. So for me, I feel Jeremiah 29 verse 11 is a scripture that is interconnecting everything we have discussed right now. So we have said God is the giver of life. Okay. But then God gives us this life. Does he has a purpose for this life he gives us? Yes, he has a purpose for the life he gives us, right? So Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, God has plans for us, okay? Plans to prosper us and not to harm us. Plans to give us a better hope and a future, right? But then how is God accomplishing this better plan for us? How is God prospering us today? So we see that it is through this circle, our social circle, that God is working. So God is working through our families. He is working through our friends, our relationships, our strangers, and through the opportunities and leisure time we get to encompass along the way. Through our families, he is telling us to say, I have given you this family to always be there with you. I have given you friends who will open up on different issues that will help you. Relationships are also there to encourage us, and he is working through different ways, through the opportunities we come across the way, through the strangers, and through our careers. It is through these things that are in our social circle that is God, that God is working to give us a better future, a better hope, and to prosper us. But then there's also death on the other side. So when someone dies, what happens? So what happens is simply a reverse of what happened when God had to breathe that breath of life in man. So when someone dies, we understand and see that that breath of life goes back to God, or that spirit goes back to God. Then the body, or the dust part of us, goes back to the ground, right? But then before someone dies, someone stands for something, right? Your life is more of, yeah, a book that is being written. It also matters what you've written in your book of life. Did you live to interconnect in a positive way with people in your social circle? Did you really get to see that hope God had for you through the social circle, through your families, through your friends, through your relationships? Did you lead a positive life? So now, that is one thing we should work upon. So this was our social circle today, and I hope you've understood one thing and you've learned one thing, knowing that at the center of everything, or at the umbrella of everything, it is God who is there, and He is working in so many ways through our friends, to our family, and through our leisure time. So there's more we can add to this social circle, just really to understand the many ways in which God is making our lives better today. So this was our social circle for today. Thank you so much for joining us, dear viewers, once again today, and stay blessed even as we look forward to more other amazing videos. Thank you so much.